A winning market is something that's evergreen with a very deep desire. You tap into them and you solve them with your product.
One product, one channel, 1 million a month.
Last year, Youssef and I scaled the brand from $0 to $2.7 million a month. And this year, we're gonna show you exactly how to do it because we're gonna do it all over again.
So we're taking the exact same systems, playbook, and AI direct response techniques that we used for the previous brand, and we're gonna reapply it in a completely different category from scratch.
The problem is that all this shit that's out there is all generic e-com advice. We're gonna show you exactly what direct response marketing is, angles, market sophistication, market awareness, product market fit, everything from A to Z, from the beginning all the way to the end when we actually launch the brand.
So we're heading to the restaurant right now. We're gonna dive into the first segment. Come with us.
I'm so debonair, I'm a millionaire. I act like I don't care, that's cause I don't care.
Some elevator e-com sauce talk? I have no clue.
We're all in there. Run Black Hat MRR.
No, don't do that. Don't listen to him. Do not do that.
You wanna make profit or no? All right, guys, so obviously when you start your brand, like the first thing you do is to kind of pick your product. The last couple of years, obviously with dropshipping and everything, there's this notion of winning product, which we don't really agree with because there's no real winning product. I would call it like a winning market. And a winning market is something that's kind of evergreen with a very deep desire. And it usually comes from like core pains and core desires that you want to tap into. If you read Breakthrough Advertising from Eugene Schwartz, he talks about the fact that there's like big energies, right, in the world of pains and desires, and you don't really create them, you kind of tap into them and you solve them with your product. So any winning product that you usually see is solving a desire like this. And so instead of trying to find a product, you want to find your market, find your customer profile, like your avatar, and find the product for them. You take that market with a big desire, with a big pain, and you come in with a completely new proposition.
Every time I see a market and I see plenty of people that are running ads there or they're using a specific product, to me, it's just a validated market. It just means at that point, you could use what people are already doing and you could apply a new mechanism to it afterwards. A saturated market just means a validated market. Very simple. If you advertise to those specific desires, 100% these are like the main.
You're gonna make money basically because there's like a need, there's like a deep pain that people want to solve. If you read Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, it's probably better than 99% of e-com courses out there, like marketing wise, because if you master it, then it's just pretty much operational.
And this book was written, like 20 years ago? And it still applies to e-com today, honestly.
Always, because it's like marketing principles, right? You know, people, if they see an offer that kind of relates to them, they want to buy it right away. And if you use the right marketing, persuasion, copywriting, that's how you can basically turn them from cold to warm and then to hot, and then you just sell.
A lot of the brands that are doing well in fashion today, they're doing well off of drops. You know, they're dropping, they're limited edition. That's their scarcity, is that they're dropping, they're doing it out of a limited time drop, and they're not necessarily solving a pain point. They're not tackling a desire. All they're doing is a limited drop and then they sell out. And the brands that don't do it don't really make that much money. The brands that do it, they literally need to stay afloat all the time by getting the best new influencer, doing product seeding, doing all these things to try to stay hip and stay cool. Meanwhile, as a direct response brand, you just need to have a very good market, solve a very good pain point, hit a very good desire, and you're good. You could easily scale with one product, one channel, one avatar, one pain point to literally $10 million a month.
Yeah, that's how we scaled our first offer to almost 3 mil a month within the 9 months, right? It's just pick that one avatar. We cracked the product market fit, and once we saw that it works, we just scaled the budget. That's where you leverage AI, Meta, their algorithm. Once you kind of crack this in the real world, you use their actual technology to scale to the moon. Exactly. It's just about raising the budget and testing new creatives.
Honestly, the amount of brands that we see, they have 10 different products, 12 different products, and they're stuck at 500K a month. You know, we audit brands sometimes, we see them, they have like 12 different products, 12 different pain points, 20 different avatars. And that to me is just distraction. Because if you're trying to advertise on Meta, you're now doing Google to try to pick up, and then you're running on Amazon, and you have 12 different products, and you haven't at least gone to $1 million a month with one channel, one product, one pain point, one market, then there's no point. You're spreading yourself too thin. That's what you're doing, essentially.
You see those fashion brands, usually they're founder-led, and the founder is really like tapped in or something like that.
yeah.
And what I love about direct response and anything that's related to deep pains and like, skincare, insecurities, health, wellness, is that it's really replicable. That's why we can confidently teach it to people, is because it's plug and play, it's a science,
100%.
right? Like if you know how to master it, it's gonna work.
And it doesn't need to be founder-led. You could be completely
No.
in
the
no one knows
shadows.
we own our brands, and that's the way to do it. 100%.
Out in the six, I'm a national treasure. The niggas that bad me gon' bad me forever. R.I.P. Kobe, but y'all niggas brokey. That's probably why y'all be shacking.
So we just had a nice steak dinner at Leo. Now we're gonna talk about mechanism. So mechanism is really important because you could literally have a completely different product in the same market, targeting the same avatar, but because it's a different mechanism, it's something new that you're offering to the customer. Great example of this is Symbiotica. Everyone was selling supplements, capsuled supplements. Symbiotica came in, they came in with the liposomal, which is like this fat, kind of like in a gel, that makes it so the ingredients in the gel get absorbed way faster than if they were in a capsule format and just ingested. Symbiotica, now a $100 million plus company, not too direct response, but that mechanism actually made it that people purchase the product a lot more. And so we see this also, for example, with Snow, with teeth whitening, right?
In the very beginning, like if you look at those 80s, 90s ads, it was just get whiter teeth with those strips. And then the next wave and competition, and it got more saturated, so it became a new claim, which is get whiter teeth within 30 days, whatever. It goes back to Eugene Schwartz, by the way, and like the levels of claims. And at some point that claim gets saturated, so you add another layer, right? So like get, I don't know, 8 shades of
8 shades wider within a week or
7
something.
days, not 30 days
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like more and more aggressive, and at some point that saturates, so you want to go into a completely new mechanism, right? And a good example nowadays, there was these LED teeth whitening kits, right? There was Snow Teeth Whitening and High Smile, the two like bigger e-commerce brands in that space. And that's what they were selling, right? And at some point, again, it got saturated. So many dropshippers, so many brands tried to sell it. All claims maxed out.
Yeah, then they had almost like a paintbrush. So it was always a new mechanism. It's a new system to sell the exact same desire that's teeth whitening.
So new product, new mechanism, saturation of claims, again, new market. It's like a cycle.
And you see it everywhere. You see it even like with the ketone bottles, for example. People were selling these like energy drinks and whatnot, and then this ketone company came in. Again, new mechanism. It's the same problem that they're solving, but they're solving it with like a new product that's hitting something different, and it's sold in a small bottle that you now add to a drink. It's a liquid. It's like a drop. We saw that also with the drops too, right? The drop shippers were using drops because people were fed up of capsules and whatnot. And they said, oh, you're going to ingest it a lot faster. You're going to be able to absorb the nutrients much faster if it's drops. And so everyone started selling drops. Drops became a very big thing. So the mechanism is super important. If you're coming into a market with same products, same everything, right away you don't have a competitive advantage. And why not come with something different if it's available to everyone to come with something different? You could literally negotiate with the supplier and get exactly what you want by just having a different mechanism, a different product that it will stand out from the rest. Even if it's a saturated market, it's a validated market. So you bring that new mechanism into a saturated market, you're probably going to blow up because you're going to eat up the ad spend within that saturated market because people are going to want the new product. They're going to want the new mechanism. That's what we did with our first brand that we launched from 0 to 2.7 million a month. We came in with a completely new product, new mechanism in an existing market, existing desire. People still had that desire for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And we came in with a very specific mechanism. It was unique.
It was new for them, right? Actually, it's funny because when you actually know our product, like it's so basic, we purposed it for that market, and nobody did that in the past. We created the angle, the science behind was already there, so we tapped into it, we leveraged the science. Unique mechanism has to make sense, right? Yeah, there has to be some science behind, some logic that you can market and explain through either an ad or an advertorial or anything of that sort. If you're in supplement space, a new ingredient, right?
Yeah.
And then your entire marketing argument is going to be around how do you actually explain the science behind that ingredient and how it helps solving that specific pain that you're targeting.
When you have a new mechanism, you just let the spend go and you slowly increase and it does very well. We're scaling at a 2 ROAS, sometimes 1.9. Some days we were at 2.2. We weren't even doing videos. We were just doing statics at the time with advertorials, and we were able to scale because of that new.
That would be a topic for another video.
That's for another video. It's all about work for sure. You need to lock in and work, but you could have a bit of fun at night, go for a little dinner, have some fun, go to a casino. So follow me.
It's already 8:30 in the morning right now. We have a few things to work on. We have the main brand that we're running, see that everything is working well, check with the team if there's anything to fix. There's a lot of moving parts when you run a brand doing volume. We also have the new brand that we need to work on this series and walk you through everything with the new brand and sharing some sauce, so stay tuned. So this is the performance of our brand yesterday. It's not the highest that we've been. We did 46K in revenue, 1.7 blended ROAS, which is really not that crazy. But we were still able to pull 9.3K in net profit with that ROAS, right? So that's the beauty about e-com, is that everything is automated when you do it the right way. Not a lot of brands are able to pull 10K in profit with such a low ROAS, right? So this is a chapter that we will dive into later on, but this is the importance of your unit economics and having a very high gross margin, so you could really afford having lower performance but still profit and scale and outbid your competitors with paid ads, because you're just able to spend more, get a lower ROAS, and be as profitable, if not more, as they are. Or you're having hair, buddy. I'm cooking eggs right now. The only thing I know how to cook.
One thing that's really important when you're building an e-com brand with a partner, maybe a couple partners, I don't recommend more than 3, but if you're building with a partner, it's really important to understand the strengths of each, right? So my partner, why are you laughing, bro?
Because mom is definitely not eggs.
But it's true that, for example, Youssef, he had a marketing agency, and he used to do funnels for e-com brands. So when it comes to CRO, really optimizing for cold traffic, he's great at that. And mine, when I used to run an e-com brand back then, right before this one, it was operations. So finances, inventory, structure, SOPs, customer service, and a bit of marketing as well. So, but it's really important to understand the strengths that each of you have. And if you don't have that strength early on and you're alone, it's always best to hire an agency and really understand what they're doing and replicate it internally, right? All the best brands out there, the 8-9 figure brands that we see, they're very strong operators because they hire an agency, they understand their learnings, and then they bring it internally and hire their own people.
I see a creative agency more as like expanding your marketing efforts, but you need that route that is already working, and you use their extra creativity to come up with new concept, potentially new angles, but still within that product market fit that you cracked before. You want to start lean and then expand as you go and deploy marketing budget, but you don't want to spread yourself too thin in the beginning and just blow all of your budget.
I think it's really important to make sure that you have someone internally that is super focused on your brand, and that you're also, you could compensate more. I think like our creative strategist, we have multiple now, but we started with one and we stayed with her, and we've probably like 4x her salary since she started working with us. And that's just the way to go because they're motivated. Now she has a team built under her. She has junior creative strategists under her. She also helped us scale our brand. Like when we scaled to 2.7 million a month, we scaled with just her and us. It's important to just really have one person that you pay super well, that's your go-to. And there's no reason for you to not go from $0 to $1 million a month
with just one person. One person is all you need, and yourself as the founder. One product, one channel, 1 million a month.
Yeah.
What else? What did you do this morning?
We took care of the landing pages, the funnels too. So we have our kind of creative strategist who also takes care of the visuals of our funnels that updated us with a new advertorial that we're launching.
That's a game right now. Huh? We're launching advertorials like crazy.
Especially with AI now, we basically built like a sort of in-house tool that's using AI and some automations and everything. It's pretty well optimized. It's like an in-house agency basically. So we're using that flow to just pump out a bunch of advertorials.
And back then, what used to cost us like $2,000 for an advertorial, now it costs us like $50 worth of credits. I think that's the name of the game now. It's like, you know, you're using all these AI tools to pretty much get as much data as possible, regrouping it, and then executing at a much higher level.
It's incredibly cheap too.
Cheap too, yeah, exactly. You don't need to pay an influencer, you don't need to pay a UGC. Like,
What's the cost of a static and an advertorial? Practically nothing. Like you could reduce it down to a few hundreds.
and even what we're seeing right now is we're iterating on statics that are working well, and with AI creating videos. AI is doing our advertorials with a full SOP, right? AI is doing our statics. We're using AI to be almost like our head of growth, where we analyze the data with AI.
It's doing a lot of things.
AI is doing pretty much everything.
Well, obviously, there's always a human behind it. Like for the advertorial tool, we have a copywriter that actually writes the copy but leverages AI, right? For the tool generates the entire advertorial like a designer would do, but then we have someone who's gonna do those very intentional images.
100%.
Same with scripts, same with videos. There's always someone that's managing the things, but it just cut costs incredibly well. It's just much faster.
If you're using these tools and you have someone that you could hold accountable, you show them how to use those tools, the tools that we have internally, or you could pay someone the salary of 2-3 people, but pay a really talented person that's going to be efficient, and they're going to be able to put out the output of 20 people with AI. It's just of how you use it.
Yeah, we're just teaching e-com and AI basically because we believe it's the future. You need to have like a product market fit, just one product, find whatever works for you and leverage AI to be lean and mean.
One thing that's never going to go away is a physical product. It's tangible. People want to order it to their home. So use AI, leverage AI to sell physical products, to sell tangible. All right, guys, so that's a wrap for episode 1. We talked about market awareness, positioning, angles, product market fit. And now we're gonna go get a nice little run on top of the hill. In episode 2, you're gonna hear more about supplier negotiations, the product, the funnels, everything right before the launch, right before you press go on your CBO and you're ready to launch on Meta.